Boker Tov. Shavua Tov. No Shavua Tov. It's already middle of the week. Chodesh Tov. Boker Tov, Chodesh Tov. Chodesh Tov. The Kulam. Today's daf is daf Tesvav and Sanhedrin, as we learned for Achenu Kol Beis Yisrael Hanusun Batzar V'Shivya. The bottom of the last line on Yudal and Beis was talking about Erechin. What are Erechin? Erechin normally means if you give your own value to the Beis Hamikdash or the value of some other person. In Perek Chav Zayin and Vayikra, it tells you that if you give the erech of a man between the ages of 20 and 60, it's 50 shekels. If it's a woman, it's 30 shekels, and it goes on according to the age and according to the gender, tells you how much you're supposed to give. It's a fixed amount. So what does this mean when the Mishnah says Erechin HaMetaltlin? The Mishnah says Erechin HaMetaltlin, meaning three. Rav Yehuda says one of them has to be a Kohen. Okay, if it's metaltlin, it's assessed. You have appraisers who assess it with three people, three assessors. And if it's karka, the Mishnah said everybody agrees that it's tisha b'kohen. It's a total of 10 people, including one has to be a kohen. So what do you mean by my erechin metaltlin? Erechin is for a person. Erechin means person, not an item that's movable. Amar Rav Gidol Marav, the last line on the page. Amar Rav Gidol. It's speaking about when man says the value of a kli I'm giving to the Beis Hamikdash. Now, a kli has value, but it doesn't have erech. Erech means value, but usually you say demei kli alai. Erech usually refers to a human being. So when a person says erech kli ze alai, what does that mean? It means you're giving actually the value of the item, of the movable item. At the top of Tesvav, I'm giving the erech of this vessel or this item, whatever it is. It could be a clothing, whatever it is. I'm giving that to the Beis Hamikdash. No, you give its value, its monetary value. My time. Everybody knows that a kli doesn't have erech, only a person. Again, erech means value and damav means value, but erech always refers to the value of a human being. Because there is no such thing as an erech of a kli. Everybody knows that there's no erech to a kli, there's no value of a kli. The Sefer meant to give it as the value of the item. Again, they both mean value in English, but erech means of a person. Damim is of any, it could be of a person or anything else. But so when he says erech kli, that doesn't make sense. So obviously he meant to give the value of the kli. Shemachi nos and damav. Says the Gemara, if that's the case, hi erech and metaltlin, erech and shel metaltlin boile. What do you mean, erech and ham metaltlin? Sounds like human beings, erech, which are movable. What does that mean? It means it should be erech of metaltlin. If I give the value of metaltlin, that's what the Mishnah should have said. Tani erech and shel metaltlin. Taka change the words to mean not erech and ham metaltlin, but erech and of the metaltlin. That's one way to look. Rav Chistomar, Avimai says name of Avimai. Here it's speaking about this. Matis metalton erech. What happens? A person gave his own value to the Beis Hamikdash. Let's say it's a person like us between the ages of 20 and 60, and he gave his value of 50 shekels to the Beis Hamikdash, but he didn't have cash. So he said, "Okay, I'll give this kli, I'll give this article, this item, whatever, this movable item in its place." That's what he means to say. Matis metalton erechin. Okay, I'm associating my value with this item. I'll give that item. Says if that's the case, hi erech and metalton shall erech b'boile. The erech is of my person, and I'm giving in place of that. I'm giving metalton in lieu of cash. It should say metalton of the erech b'boile. So it's tani metalton, and that's how you should tackle learn it. Change the words according. Ravu Amar Bomer erech. Very simple. He says I'm giving my value. Let's say 50 shekels. Coin ligvas menu. If a coin's coming to collect from him to the Beis Hamikdash. That is one of the Kohen serving the Beis Hamikdash, the Gizbar, whatever is coming to collect it. You pledge 50 shekels, come and give it. And he didn't have cash. So, if he's coming to collect from metaltlin b'shlosha, then you have to assess it with 3. Karkos, if he takes it, if he assesses it and grabs it, seizes it in the form of karka, then you need 10. As we learned from the pasuk, that karka has to have a valuation of 10, an assessment of 10 judges. But according to this pshat, I don't understand. Bishlama la pukim hegdish. If you want to take something out of hegdish, you want to redeem it from hegdish. Being a shlosh, I understand you need 3 so that they shouldn't cheat hegdish. But if you're coming to give it into hegdish, what do you need 3 for? However you learn that it's matfis, metaltal erichin, whatever, however you're giving it into hegdish. What do you need? What do you need erich for when you're giving it to hegdish? For all the pshatim, either way, you're giving these things to hegdish, right? So whether that's erich of the kli or erich of the person, and he's giving the item of his own volition in lieu of his cash, or they're taking it from him. Either way, why do you need an assessment to give it to hegdish? Svara, it's a svara. Malu yulimat, because if you're giving it or taking it out. Apukim my time when you take it out of hegdish, when you're deeming my timer. Why do you say you need 3 assessors? Dilmatoi, because maybe you'll make a mistake and hegdish will get cheated. Yulinami dilmatoi. When it comes to giving to hegdish, also maybe you'll make an assessment too high. Maybe you're giving a kli which is only worth 10 shekels, and you'll assess it for 20 shekels, and hegdish will get cheated. Therefore, we need an assessment there too, an assessment of 3. Rav Yehuda said, what must be a coin? Only a Pavlabai Bishlam, Rav Yehuda Heinrich of coin, it says coin. And it comes to being poda, it says over there, when it comes to Erech, you have to be poda, it says they're coin. So what must be a coin? El Rabbanan coin lamalu. Why does it say coin? Why does it say coin? You don't need coin to Rabbanan. You don't need any coin at all. So why does it say coin? Kasha, it's takakasha, according to the Rabbanan Shita. Hakarkos tishba coin. Now, there was a machlokes if it's metaltalin that we just said that you in an assessment. The Tanakama said you need 3 judges, and Rav Yehuda said one of them has to be a kohen. When it comes to karka, they all agree that you need a total of 10, and one of them must be a kohen. Tishba kohen. But I mean, how do we know this? From Amar Shmuel, Asar Kadam Tzum Pasha. It says the word kohen 10 times in the pasha. Chad legufe. The first one's tell you need a kohen. Hanach. The other ones have a mirachamiyah. One is a mirachamiyah. In other words, it says kohen and not a Yisrael. So the first one tells, okay, you need a kohen. Why does it say again kohen? You already said kohen. Why does it say kohen? That's excluding a Yisrael a second time. An exclusion after exclusion is like a double negative is a positive. They need achamid elul rabos. So if I say once kohen, that means kohen. If I say second time a kohen, excluding a Yisrael, right? But now it's the first kohen already excluded Yisrael. It has to be a kohen. What is the second kohen for? Again, excluding Yisrael. So it's a mirachamid. It's an exclusion. Following an exclusion is marber dafil tel Yisrael. Even the other ones are Yisrael. That's okay. Dafil tel Yisrael. The other 9 kohanim are to tell me that you can use a Yisrael because it's mirachamid. Dafil tel Yisrael ve'echad kohen. Maskor Ravuna Breder Rav. You could look at it differently. Ein mechamisha kohen mechamisha Yisrael. I'm looking at it this way. The first kohen you need it, fine. The second time it tells you dafka kohen not Yisrael. The second time it says kohen excluding Yisrael is a mirachamid l'rabos. Okay. Now the third kohen is to tell you need a kohen, because you already said the last one was to include Yisrael. So you could say that the first, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth tells you need a kohen, and the other ones, the even ones, the second, fourth, sixth, 8th, and 10th, are to tell you they could be Yisrael. So maybe you thought it should be that way. How do you know it's one kohen and not Yisraelim? Maybe it's 5 and 5. It's good logical. You could speak both ways.
How do you have a base din of 10? You can't have a base din shekel.
Oh, because this is just for the
how do you have a
assessment.
base din of 10?
Right. When it comes to a judgment, you can't have it. But when it comes to an assessment, you could. You could have an assessment of 10. So they'll work it out. In other words, they have to, you're right, they have to come to an agreement what it would be. If the 5 says it's of the $100 and 5 says not, they would have to work it out. Or maybe then they would add an 11th one to balance it, to work it out so that you would have to tilt it in one direction. And a person also, when it comes to an assessment of a person, you also need 10. What do you mean? You can't be makdish a person. Items, you could be makdish. You can be makdish karka, you can makdish an animal, you can makdish values. You can't be makdish a person. A person can't belong to hegdish. It's not, so he wasn't makdish himself, but he said, my value should be given to the base of Mikdash. So now you have to value, it depends what you're evaluating. So how do you evaluate what is this? So you need 10 people to evaluate what is this person worth. The Tanya Omer to Me'alai, you figure out what is an Evet Knani sold in the marketplace. What is he worth? So you say, what is this guy worth? What is his future earnings worth? What is he worth? The Evet is Kashikarka. Since you shot him up, you assessed him like an Evet, and an Evet is compared to Karka, just like Karka needs 10. So an Evet needs 10, and a person is you assess him like an Evet, so you also need 10. What happens if he has hair which is long, needs a haircut, and it's standing to cut off? How do you need that? How do you call that? Does that consider metaltlin because it's ready to be cut off and you only need 3? Or you consider it part of the person, and just like the person is attached to the person is compared to, is like an eved compared to karka, you need 10 or not. So bekama kagazos not means like it's cut off in vishlosha. O k'mechuber, it's not mechuber because it's mechuber to the person, and the person like karka uvasara. That's the question that they asked, right? Rav Avin asked this kasha again. What is the hair? The person himself, his valuation is like that of an eved, and therefore you need 10 because eved is compared to karka. But what about his hair? Toshma hamak t'shesavdo. If you sanctify your eved, what does it mean? You gave your eved to the base of mikdash. An eved is like like property, right? Shatel that could be given to the property, given to the base of mikdash. Ein moel and bo. There's no mi'ila in the eved, right? Because an eved is like karka. You can't. There's no mi'ila in karka. You could have mi'ila. You could commit sacrilege on his hair. What hair we speaking? You were talking about hair which is standing to be cut off. If a guy's got a short crew cut, excuse me, he's got a short haircut, there's nothing to cut off. You can't, there's not worth anything. But if he's got hair that could be cut off, so that's the issue over here. Shmuel says you're mole there because it's like cut off already. So it's like cut off, and therefore it's metaltlin. And the Tanakama says, no, if you're makdash David, there's no meal in him at all, not in him, not in his hair. Why? Because it's like karka. So that's the machlokas here. You asked, is his hair ready to be cut off? Is that like you need a cord of 3 to assess it, or like 10? Is it considered mechuber? Here you see the same machlokas. If you're makdash your eved, right, you're not molba according to the Tanakama. Why? Because it's like karka. Even his hair is like karka. Shmuel says, no, the hair is not like karka. So that would be the machlokas here. That would be the answer to your question. Shema mina. So you see, Ligzas Pli Shema mina. Neimani Tanakh. So let's say these Tanoah, Reb Shimon Gamliel and the Tanakama, who argue whether Seir or Omer Ligzas is considered metaltlin, like Reb Shimon Gamliel, or like the Tanakama says it's considered like karkas attached. L'chora, it's the same as the following machlokas. The Tanan, Rabbi Roma, Yesh Ram Shenka Karka. There are things which are like karka. It really is karka. Then karka, it doesn't have a din like karka. What does that mean? The Chacham don't agree with him. They say it's like karka. Ketzeb. Esther Gafanam Tunas. We know there's a din of modim mixas. If you lend somebody or give somebody something and then he denies part of it, he has to swear shvur the rice of modim mixas. Unless it's karka, we don't swear in karka. So let's say he says, I gave you 10 laden vines, laden with grapes. I gave you. You only gave me 5. So it's modem mixas. Rav Meir says, Machayev make a shvur. Why? Because since they are laden, ready to be harvested, it's considered like metaltlin. Modem mixas. You have to swear. If it's attached to the ground, it's considered like karka, so you don't swear, even though some exist. So that's the same machlokas. The chacham say called mechubel karka is like the Tanakama that makdash avdo ein moel bo. Why? Because it's karka. Whereas Rav Shmuel says you're moel in the hair. Why? Because the hair which is about to be cut off, ready to be cut off, is considered like metaltlin. Isn't this the same as the grapes? We're speaking about here machlokas remain rabbanim by grapes that are standing to be harvested. One says if it's cut off already, it's if it's harvested, that would be Rav Meir, and therefore he says you make a shvua as modem b'mikzas because it's metaltlin. Umar savalo lav b'tzuras tummy, and the chacham say no, it's not harvested, it's still attached. So the it's the same machlokas. Gemara says low. Field time Rav Meir. Even Rav Meir could hold like the case in the case of hair. Could hold like the Tanakama that it's considered attached. Why? Where does Rav Meir say that the vines laden with grapes and ready to be harvested are considered cut off? Because they should be cut off now. Because as long as you leave them there, once they're ripe and you leave them on the vine, that they will deteriorate. That's worse for them. So therefore, it's as if they're cut off. Aval saro, but hair, kol kamat shafko, as long as you leave it attached to that ashbuch and mashbuch, it's better for it. It gets more nutrients, etc. So therefore, it's not the same. And therefore, hair, even Rav Meir would be moda that if it's attached to the person, even though it could be cut off, you could get a haircut now, it's still considered attached like the Tanakama, and therefore you wouldn't be moelbo in the case that we quoted from Makdishas Avdo. Okay, din and afasha. So we said when it comes to capital cases, you need a court of 23, right? Then we said rova v'nirva. If bestiality was committed, a man or a woman slept with an animal, right? Had sex with an animal. all those cases we said, Rova Benirva, the same thing applies as Mishlosha. Shenemet Pasuk says, you kill the woman, right? Just the way, and it says Vesavema Tarogu, right? It says Varaktas Isha Vesavema, but Omer, it says also Vesavema Tarogu, again, another Pasuk also there when it comes to a man. So here we say like this: you kill the animal, whether the animal, which was the proactive part in this bia, whether he slept with a man or with a woman. So the animal, in other words, it's not just a man sleeping with a woman, with a female animal, or a male animal sleeping with a female human being. It's if a male animal slept with a male person, same thing would be, because it says rova, any kind of rova, any kind of bestiality. Kapasik v'tani, loshon rova zocher, doesn't make any difference if he slept with a male, that would be like sodomy, loshon rova nekeva, or if you have nekeva, subishal rova nekeva, it says varakta, so isha v'sayema, kill the woman and the animal that slept with her. Ela rova zocher, how do we know that if an animal committed sodomy with a person, willingly, I'm not talking about a rape, this is sleeping with a person. How do we know that also needs a court of 23? The Sivit says, another pasuk says, Kol shochev and behema mos yumas. Whoever sleeps with an animal will die. And Indian, the shochev can't be talking about if the man is the proactive person, he committed sodomy on the animal. Why is that? Because we already have a pasuk which says, pasuk in Vayikra Chav says, Ish asher yiten shchafto bebehema mos yumasu begama behema tarogu. So therefore, we already know that if a human being commits sodomy with an animal, that he is killed. So when it says kol shoch behema mos yumas, we don't need it for shoch. It doesn't need it for if the man committed sodomy, right? So no inyan lenishka. We look at, so therefore we apply it to a case where the animal committed sodomy on a human being. Why does it say shochav? Like kushe nishkav l'shochav, to compare the nishkav, if he is the let's say the passive partner here, to the active partner, the shochav. Ma shochav hu behem tobes mishlosha. So it's like shochav, him and the animal both go 23 because it says there besavei metarogu. Af nishkav hu behem tobes mishlosha. Same nishkav. So either way, whether it's clear if an animal commits vishiyali with the woman, that they're both killed with a court of 23. But even if he committed sodomy on a human being, he also is a court of 23 based on these psukim. Shor niskal b'esem mishlosha, a shore which is supposed to be stoned, right? A stone. Why is that? Let's say he killed a human being and he was a shor mu'ed, and he killed a human being. He's killed with a court of 23. Shenema shor yisakal v'gam ba'olav yumas. Right? It says the shore will be stoned, and also the owner will be killed. What does we do? The owner's not actually killed, but the way an animal, the way a human being is killed with a court of 23, kach misa shor is also with a 23, court of 23. How do we know though? The pasuk says, Ashor yisakel, v'gam ba'olav yumas, right? And the owner will also die. I think it's even by a short time if he kills. If he damages, he pays chatzin esek. If he kills, you have to kill the shore. And it says v'gam ba'olav yumas. Now we don't actually kill the owner, but it says Kamisa Bam Gavos Ashor in this court of 23. How do we know it doesn't mean that you actually kill the owner? How do you know it tells you that you kill a shore in the same way that you kill a human being with a court of 23? So how do you know it's for that it came for that? Ema, where I'm at base now, Ema told us. Maybe it's coming to tell you that you have to kill the person too. You have to kill the owner. L'chai misa l'balav. L'chai b'misa. Pasuk says you kill the shore, v'gam ba'olav yumas, and you kill its owner. So maybe it means you have to kill the owner. Zimkein l'chtav v'gam ba'olav. You could just say you kill the animal, v'gam ba'olav, and also the owner. Why did it say v'gam ba'olav yumas? That extra word tells me it's not exactly the same. It tells to tell you that the misas of Balaam, the way you kill the owner, a human being with a court of 23, is the way you kill a shore. He needs a court of 23. Maybe that's what it means. So Zikas Rahman Hachif would only say what Gam Ba'olav having made a skila. I would say you kill him this way. You kill the shore. You kill the shore with skila. You kill the person with skila too. Maybe that's what it means. Yeah, and that's not the case. How could you say that you would have a havmi you kill maskila? Why? If a man commits murder, he's killed with sayif, which is one of the lesser kinds of capital punishment, the less severe, let's say, the less severe punishment. If he himself kills somebody, he's killed with the sword. By the sword, basically, it means like decapitation. Mamona beskila. So his money, if his possessions killed, like his shore killed, he should get skila. Worst thing, that doesn't make sense. So how could you say you would have a havamina that you kill the shore with skila, and the gambal you also kill the owner with skila? How could you kill the owner with skila? Doesn't make sense. If he himself commits murder, he's only killed with sayif, with the sword. So how could you say that if his animal killed, he should get skila? Worst punishment? Because of Rahmana Yumas la kuliyale. Oh, so maybe it means Yumas to tell me that he has a lesser punishment. La puka misayif lechenek. He says instead of sayif, if he himself committed murder, he would get killed by the sword. So now he only gets chenek, which is a lesser punishment. Maybe that's what it means to tell me that it's a lesser punishment. That's what Yumas teaches me, but he still is killed. That's fine. If you hold that chenek is if you saw that chenek is wrong, there's a different order. The order that we hold of not like Rav Shimon is that skilus rei for hereg b'chenek. If you say like Rav Shimon that chenek is more chomer than sayif, then you can't give that answer and say that he's getting chenek is still a more severe punishment than sayif. So if he himself kills, if he commits murder, he's killed with a sayif. You can't say, just like you say, he can't go up to skill, he can't go up to chenek either. So if you say that chenek is more severe, so you can't say you're giving a less severe punishment because chenek is more severe. If he himself committed murder, it's a sayif. So if his animal committed murder, you can't say he's a more severe punishment. Kill, if you say that chenek is less, the order is skilus rei for hereg b'chenek. Hereg is the sayif, and chenek is Michael Maimer. Maybe he's telling you that he gets a lesser punishment. In other words, he is killed, but he has a lesser punishment. He's not punished with the sword. He's punished with hanging. Right? Pardon?
Why did he kill?
That's the question. Because the pasuk says, Hashor Yisakel, you kill the animal with skila, the gambal of Yumas, and the owner gets killed too. So now we interpret it doesn't mean the owner gets killed. It means that he's killed in the same way as the animal's killed, the same way as the owner with a cord of 23. But the owner's actually not killed. So the question is, maybe it means so. Maybe it actually means he's killed. So first thing Mara said, well, if it meant killed, he wouldn't have said Yumas. He would have just said Gamba Olav. Says, what do you mean, Gamba Olav? It sounds like the way the animal's killed is skila. How could you give him skila? If he himself committed murder, it would only be sayif, hereg. So how could he get a more severe punishment? And maybe it means that he goes down from sayif to chenek. That's if you hold that sayif is more severe than chenek. But if you hold that chenek is more chomer, so you could say, okay, chenek is more chomer. Maybe he only gets, if you hanichel madam chenek chomer. So you can't say that he's going from sayif to chenek because that's worse. Kill maybe means instead of sayif he gets chenek. It says in kofer yushas Allah. If he pays ransom, in other words, if he pays the value of the person. Besides that, in kofer yushas he has to pay the value of the person. He has to pay. The owner has to pay. If you kill him, you can't take kofer if he's going to be killed. In other words, if you're going to kill the owner, you can't take money from him too. Zadarabba, Mishum Gufa, it's telling you that dafka itself, that he's dafka telling you that halacha. What does that mean? If he himself committed murder, he can't pay his way out. He can't pay. He's got to be killed. Katal Shora, but if his shore killed somebody, Lifrit Nafshek money, he should pay with money. But if he didn't pay the money, maybe he should be killed. In other words, Gambal of Yumas, yes, the owner is also responsible, and the owner should die unless he pays for it. In other words, it says, if he himself committed murder, he can't pay his way out. You have to kill him. If the man committed murder, he's going to kill him. But if his animal committed murder, if his animal killed somebody, then he has to pay, right? Because it says, right, in Kofer Yushas Olav. And if he doesn't pay, then he himself is not killed. So how do we know that he is not killed? How do we says Hashor Yisakel v'Gambal of Yumas? Maybe means he's killed too, unless he pays his way out. The it says if one person kills another person, he is killed. It says when do you kill the person who smote the other person? If he himself is the murderer. You kill him only for his murder, not for the murder of his shore. Okay, here's another question. We say you kill a shore. If a shore is deserving of death because he killed somebody, you kill him with a cord of 23. What about Shor Sinai? It says back in Yisro, what does it say? That Gam Behema, Gamish Lo Yichya. In other words, nobody should approach Har Sinai when the Shekhinah was there. You're not allowed to go near the mountain. If it did, it says, right? It says Gam Ish Gamish Gamema Lo Yichya. If they approach Har Sinai, right? In Behema Mish Lo Yichya. So what happens there if a shore approached there? Right. We're thinking historically, if a shore approached Har Sinai when they weren't supposed to, how many would he need for a cord of 23? And Rashi says, an ish mela is obviously because they were already Sanhedrin there, so they had a cord of 23. What about a shore? First time that you're dealing with a shore. Mi gomer shah midos. Do you learn out a one-time matter that happened in Har Sinai from the Doros where it's 23? Oh, lo, Tashma, Tan Reb Cheskel. In Be'ema Meir Shloiches, so the pasuk says, Ma ish b'chav gimel, just like a man is killed with a cord of 23. Because as a mish, we compare behemoth ish, just like a man is killed with a cord of 23. The same way the behemoth would be killed with a cord of 23, even in that one time, like first time happening when a shore would be judged. So we said in the Mishnah, we had a little machlokas here. We said wild animals, let's call them wild, undomesticated animals. How many, if they kill? So it says a shore, zev, ariya, without baras, all these wild animals, you kill them with a cord of 23. Reb Lezer says, no, just go kill them. Whoever's first to kill him is Zocha. Rabbi Akiva says, we'll see, how does Rabbi Akiva different than Tanakama? The question is, Rabbi Lezer says, just go kill them. You don't need a cord, just go kill them. These guys are bad. Does he mean just go kill them, even if the animal hasn't killed anybody? Just you see a leopard or a hyena, one of these wild animals, just go kill him, get him off the face of the earth? Or does he mean, no, if the animal killed, or a shore who killed, you need a cord of 23 to condemn him to death. But one of these wild animals, if he killed somebody, you don't need a cord of 23, just go kill him. What is Pshat in Rabbi Lezer? Amar Shlakish. Behusha Misa. So Rabbi Shlakish says Pshat in Rabbi Lezer is, when does Rabbi Lezer say you can kill him without a cord? Just go kill him if the animal killed. But if he didn't kill him, these animals could be domesticated, and therefore an owner can own them. You could just you have Michigan who have lions and tigers and leopards like that for pets or whatever. You have Michigan like that. They're entitled to raise them if they feel they can raise them. Fine. So that's Rav Shlaktish Shishita. But if the animal killed, then he's proven to be undomesticated, and then you can kill him according to Reb Lezer without a cord. Tanakama says you need a cord of 23 in all cases. Reb Lezer says no. If it's a wild animal who kills somebody, you could just go kill him without a cord. Rabbi Yochanan no. Afi Shalom Yis. Rabbi Yochanan says no. What Reb Lezer is coming to say is, if you see these animals in the street, just go kill them. They can't be domesticated. They're a danger. Afi Shalom Yis. They can't be domesticated. And there's no owner either. How can you go kill them? Maybe it belongs to somebody, belongs to the circus, or belongs to somebody. The answer is no. People aren't entitled to own them. These are dangerous things.
You don't kill them unless they kill somebody else. You just don't see an animal and kill him.
Okay, so Rabbi Yochanan says, yes, these kind of animals you could kill if you see them. That's the machlokes in Rish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. This is one of the few cases we'll see. The Gemara is going to prove like Rish Lakish that you can't just kill them unless you kill somebody. Rabbi Yochanan says, that's what Rabbi Lezer said. Rabbi Yochanan said, first of all, he's explaining Rabbi Lezer, not the Tanakama. The Tanakama says you still need a cord of 23 if they killed. It comes along, Rabbi Lezer say, no, just go kill him yourself. Does that mean just go kill him yourself, even if he didn't kill somebody? That's Rabbi Yochanan. And Rabbi Shlakish says, no, only if he killed somebody. But if he didn't kill somebody, he could be domesticated. You could own. According to Rabbi Yochanan, you're not allowed to own him. You're not allowed to own him because they're so wild that they deserve death. You just go kill them, retire them from the earth. Tanan. Rabbi Lezer, look at Mishnah. Mishnah says, Rabbi Lezer said, whoever kills him first merits. He's merits. And what does he merit? What did you merit? I tell you what I did. I merit I can keep the hide. You kill the animal, right? You can make a nice jacket out of it, or shoes, or a leather briefcase or something, right? So you're that. El Rish Lakish says that what? That only if he killed somebody do you kill him. But if he killed somebody, it means he's deserving of death. If he's deserving of death, like Shor Niskal, you don't have to have enough from a Shor Niskal. You don't have to have enough from him. The Maizacha, Kivin Shemisa, once he killed, Shemin Rabban and Command, the Gomer Denayu, it's as if the rabbi said, according to Rabbi Lezer, that you don't need a cord 23. It's like he's a Gemara Dim, the Surah, no, it's also Nevana. So Maizacha, Zachal Shemayim, you got merit in heaven, you got points in heaven because you took a danger off the street. Okay, that's how Rebbe will learn. But still, we have a tiny kavasa Rish Lakish, like church that they could be domesticated, and therefore you shouldn't kill them. Even Reb Lezer, who differs with the Tanakama. Tanakama says you can't kill any animal unless they've committed murder. Reb Lezer says you can kill them even if you can just go kill him without a court. But doesn't mean if he committed murder. According to Rish Lakish, only if he committed murder. Tiny kavasa Rish Lakish. Echad shor shemis. Whether a shore killed. Echad behema. B'chaya shemiso. B'chavkum you need a court of 23. Okay. All kinds of animals. That's like the Tanakama and our Mishnah. Rabbi Lezer Omer, shor shehemis best mishlosha. Shore, you need court of 23. V'shar behema b'chaya shehemiso. Other animals that killed. Only if he killed, you're entitled to go kill him without a court. Right? You married in heaven. So it's a proof. So here we have a proof to Rish Lakish, the way you seem to feel that you just can't go kill them plain, even according to Blazer, but we don't necessarily pass like Blazer anyway. Pass like the Tanakama that all animals need a court of 23 to punish them with in order to execute them. Rabbi Kiva said, no, you need a court of 23. So Rabbi Kiva behind the Tanakama, same as the Tanakama, you need a court of 23 for all of them. Even Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva agrees by the other animals you need a court of 23, but by a nachash, which is a danger to everybody, he agrees apparently with Rabbi Lezer, you don't need a court of 23 in order to kill him. That's what Rashi says. Except for a nachash, because that's considered a danger. There's a mu'id lo'olam, you got to get him off the streets. Ain't done him. Now we said, then the Mishnah said, a shevet, if you judge a whole tribe among the Jews, ain't done shevet. Only with a gigantic court, a court of the big court, the Senate Agadol in Yerushalayim. And done. Hi Shevet, the Chat of Mai. How did this whole Shevet sin? If they committed their Machal Shabbos on purpose. Where did the Torah make a difference between individuals who committed a sin and the majority who committed a sin? Many only linyan of the Avaros Kechavim. Avaros Kechavim, you have an Irani Dachas, which are killed besayef, and there, but whereas an individual committed Avodah Zarah is killed with skila. There's a difference only by Avodah Zarah. B'shar mitzvahs mipolig, but by if in Machal Shabbos you get the skila whether you're one person or the whole community violated Shabbos. Maybe we're talking about the whole Shevet committed Avodah Zarah. But remember the Bedin and Rabbim, then we done them with the Din and Rabbim like that, meaning that they're killed like the Irani Dachas. Come on, look, Rabbi Yoshua doesn't go like either Rabbi Yoshua and the Tanya. Ad Kama Osan Dachas. How many people do you need for the city to be Irani Dachas? Miyurai Kaf. Less than 10 is not a city. More than 100 is considered a tzibur, more than a city. So Divrei Rabbi Yoshua says you need a court. Irani Dachas only if you had a city of between 10 and 100 people. From 100 until most of the Shevet. Only if it's most of the Shevet. But if the whole Shevet committed Avodah Zarah, they're not considered Irani Dachas. We're not talking about the whole Shevet sin, but rather the Nasi, the prince or the president of the Shevet committed a sin for which a capital sin, right? And therefore you need a court of 70, a whole court of 71. When Yisro said to Moshe, any big thing that comes to you will bring to you. Dvarav shel gadol, even the person of a gadol, and it means darshans that even a sin committed by a gadol, that's the president, he needs a court of 3. Hanami gadol who, that's also gadol. And therefore, we're not talking about the whole shevet sinned. We're talking about where the head of the shevet sinned, he needs a court of 71. We'll have other pshatim on this pshat of the Shevet. We'll come back to this tomorrow. We'll finish it up tomorrow. Mitzvah Shem, the regular time tomorrow. Have a good day. Chodesh Tov. Chanukah Sameach. Besurot Tovot.